Hey guys, welcome to Dog Life. I'm Kim Pichotti.
And I'm Christina Borders.
And we are very glad to have you this week. We're going to kind of talk about a subject, a little bit of sensitive subject, that basically 54% of us face with our dogs. Do you know what it is?
I think I have an idea.
Obesity.
Yeah.
It's an epidemic, basically. It's one of the main reasons why in vet bills, because of arthritis and
diabetes.
Exactly. All different kinds of things. So the thing that's so upsetting is it's preventable. But you know what? Just like training, we find a problem, go to the root of it, and then we fix it. And that's what we're here to do today. We're going to tell you some things and share some things with you that is going to help you if your dog happens to be in that situation, or basically preventing it as they get older. Because there's a good study, and we're going to go look at it right now. So let's go take a look at our first up for today and learn a little bit more about dog obesity. It is estimated that 43.8 million dogs are obese or overweight in the United States. What is ironic is that obesity is the most preventable disease our dog could ever endure. Since we control their food intake, this is a disease we are inflicting upon our furry friends. Overfeeding, behavior issues, and physical limitations of owners is the cause of many dogs being overweight. In 2017, there was a staggering $69 million in veterinary expenses related to obesity spent nationwide. Obese dogs are more likely to suffer from arthritis, urinary tract infections, diabetes, and pancreatitis is common in smaller dogs such as Yorkies and Schnauzers. A large lifetime study of Labrador Retrievers was conducted by Purina. The study ran for 14 years and began when the puppies were 8 weeks old. They found that the median lifespan was increased by 1.8 years, or 15%, in the lean-fed dogs compared to the control dogs. What this equates to is by simply monitoring how much food your dog can actually eat extends his life almost 2 years. An easy way to understand just how drastic even a few pounds overweight for a dog can be, just imagine a 10-pound dog being only 1 pound overweight. That is just 10% of their body weight. If a 150-pound person was 10% overweight, that's equivalent to 15 pounds. By making a few changes in our habits, we can actually be saving dogs years of unnecessary to truly love them. Isn't that amazing that just a matter of doing a few simple things, that you can add years to your dog's life? I mean, that blows my mind. I mean, a year and a half is what that Purina study showed.
And it doesn't take much,
No.
and especially it makes a huge difference, especially when you think about it in terms of the smaller dogs, what even just 1 pound does.
Well, exactly. I mean, think about it. Okay, 1 pound is of a 10-pound dog would be 1 pound. It would be 10% of their weight, so to speak.
Right.
So if you said 10% of the weight of a 150-pound person, that's 15 pounds.
So it's like the equivalent
Exactly.
of 15 pounds on that tiny little dog.
I mean,
so,
to me, that's just crazy. And it's something that we can prevent. And it's something we're going to share a secret with you later in the show, a very easy way that you can make a minor adjustment that's going to help work that for the dog. So what do we have coming up?
We are going to learn a little bit more about our guest today, Melissa Gunderson, who is the founder of the Proud Dog Mom blog. And we're going to talk with her a little bit after a while. You're going to be in the kitchen with her.
Yep.
But let's just learn a little bit more about her and how she got started.
Awesome. She brought her cookbook for us too, guys.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what she's got.
In 2016, Melissa Gunderson, along with her mom Donna, launched Proud Dog Mom, a blog that offers dedicated pet parents healthy dog treat recipes, training tips, health advice, DIY projects, and more. What started out as a passion project soon grew into a go-to source for everything canine. Melissa and Donna's healthy treat recipes have garnered worldwide attention on social networks like Pinterest and Facebook. They recently released their first dog treat cookbook titled Proud Dog Chef Tail Wagging Good Treat Recipes. Proud Dog Chef is filled with 60 gluten-free, grain-free, and dog-approved recipes that are bound to make even the pickiest dog's tail wag. With careful attention to nutrition, this book is written for the dog parent who is ready to leave behind questionable ingredients and red flag preservatives. Melissa and Donna spent nearly 2 years testing and perfecting the recipes in the book, working to enhance flavor and bump up the health benefits, making them all tail-wagging good and good for your pooch.
Okay guys, we are in the kitchen with Melissa and we're so glad to have you here, and we are making salmon muffins today. So I'm just going to turn it over to her. This is like really weird for me because you know that I'm the one that's always sitting here cooking. So I'm going to let you just tell them, talk them through the recipe, and I'm just going to sit and watch and ask questions.
All right, awesome. So this is very, very simple, and it's also customizable. So if you don't have the exact ingredients that I'm using today, it's very easy to just go on into your refrigerator and pick another dog-approved veggie that you have on hand. So today we're going to be using broccoli because these are veggie-filled salmon muffins, and the broccoli is what we're using. You can totally go in and grab a knife and chop it up, but if you have a little fancy machine at home, you can also just pulse it a few times and grind it into almost like, have you seen cauliflower rice? Almost, almost that
kind of texture.
Small
we can
texture.
Actually, come out here.
Yeah.
I'll let you do it because
No,
I'm not mechanically inclined with the.
That comes out, and then
Perfect.
I'm also going to take the blade out so that way we don't.
But you can kind of see how.
But yeah, you can see how kind of rice-like. You know,
very small.
The small. Easy for the dogs to chew, and easier for them to digest. Also.
Exactly.
If you don't have broccoli on hand, you can see all these fun options that we have here. You can do some spinach. I would recommend about 1/4 cup, and then just chop it up really fine. Same thing with the carrots. Make sure you peel them, just grate them. Again, if you have a nice little fancy tool that'll do it for you, always easier. If not, just grab a grater. And then same thing with zucchini. So those are just some fun.
Box grater!
Yes! That's what I use. I'm kind of old school. I stand there and I just, you know, shave it. But any one that you have in your refrigerator, go for it. But like I said, today we're using the broccoli. And then they wouldn't be a salmon muffin without some salmon.
There you go.
I'm using a canned salmon, and I think a lot of people are sometimes surprised to find that it can be just as easy as going to your local grocery store and picking up a can of salmon. So this is the one that I'm using, and I try to go for a wild caught, skinless, boneless, you know, wild caught, and this is a 5-ounce can. So that's what you want to try to shoot for. I know sometimes you can get a 4-ounce can as well.
Packed in water too, guys.
Packed in water, absolutely. You don't want any salt added or no extra flavorings or oil or anything like that. So just water.
In fact, if you even rinse it, a lot of times if you rinse the salmon first too as well, just to get that little bit extra off, because they still put that salt in there that we want to get out as much as we can.
Love it. And then once you take it out of the can, just drain it. And like you said, rinse it and pop it into a bowl. Over here we have a 1/4 cup of garbanzo bean flour. So if you're wondering if this is a gluten-free or a grain-free recipe, I'm so happy to tell you that it is. And I love garbanzo bean flour because it's so darn affordable. If you go to the grocery store, I mean, I will also use almond flours.
I was just going to ask you, can you put other flours?
You can also use an almond flour if you do have that in your pantry and would prefer to use that. But I love this as well. So I have actually a salmon burger in the cookbook.
Oh, cool.
And that one uses almond flour, but this one we're changing up just a little bit, and we're using the garbanzo bean flour. And then also an egg. Of course, we've got the added protein, but really it's to help bind everything together.
Do you notice, quick question for you, do you notice when you change the flours, do you have to add any more liquid to anything?
Depends on which one I'm using. So if I'm using a coconut flour, I'd actually use less, and I may need to bump up the liquid a little bit because
coconut absorbs the liquid.
It absorbs it a lot more, yes. When I'm using an almond flour, I find that you can actually swap them out for this recipe. If it's in a biscuit, not so much. The biscuits are, and I think they say this, right? When you're baking, you have to be a little bit more precise. When you're cooking, you can kind of play around a little bit more.
Except for when you chemify things like I do. I don't measure. I eye everything.
Oh, you eye everything.
It's terrible. I know that baking is supposed to be science, but it's a matter of, I like doing concoctions, and it's more or less if you replace a liquid, you replace it with an even liquid, or you place it dry, you place it with a dry. Like we had found a chocolate cake recipe yesterday that was so good, but obviously we know dogs can't have chocolate. And it was with avocados and sweet potatoes and stuff, so we're thinking, okay, if you take cocoa powder, if you take that out of there, you can put in Caro powder, and you can still have the same kind of thing. So there's a lot of things that you can do with recipes, and Melissa's got great stuff in here that she's adapted, and that's, we don't want you to get like into a nutshell. Don't feel that you have to do it. And you know, your dog may not like broccoli, but you know what? They love carrots. You know, don't be afraid to kind of interchange things and switch things up. You know, once again, these are meant for treats. They aren't recommend to, to take away your dog's food. As we've talked in the shows in the past, Some vets believe, 20% you can substitute, some believe 10. It's all common sense, guys. It's common sense, it's whole foods, it's good stuff, and we're going to get Melissa baking. I need to shut up. Come on, cook. Get these in the oven.
Yes,
We gotta
yes.
taste them.
Okay, great. We're also going to put some spices in here,
Right.
but I'll actually talk about those in just a minute because I do want to start mixing everything together. So we've got the salmon, which is what I'm going to start with. Put that in first. And I'm going to go super basic, guys. Everyone's got a fork at home, right? Just grab a bowl, take a fork, mash it up. It does not have to be complicated. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to start with some of the more dry ingredients, right? So we've got the flour. We're going to put that in. And I have to still measure out the spices. So
You can use my measuring system.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it on your hand and dump it in.
You know what? Actually, that totally works. That totally works. I'll do that.
If you want a spoon, I'll get you a spoon.
You know what? It's fine. I will actually do, normally, if you do want to measure, I normally do a 1/4 teaspoon. But for right now,
we're going to do a pinch.
We'll do 2 pinches of these. And so I'm using turmeric. And what helps your dog's body better absorb the turmeric, so there's 2 things.
Right.
We've got either a ground black pepper, or you can also use a healthy fat, like a coconut oil. So today we're going to be using the ground black pepper. You don't need much, just a little bit. And then last thing, our egg.
Perfect.
Yes, once it's in here, just going to mix it all together. And it'll take just about a minute. And you want to make sure it's just a nice and even, everything is combined.
And one thing is dogs don't make vitamin D, which this is a great source of vitamin D as well. It's something that they definitely need to have because there was actually even I believe it was a recall or something that had come out that they were putting
elevated levels of vitamin D. There were a
Exactly.
couple of them that
Exactly.
that happened too, and dogs were getting sick from it.
So you've got to be kind of careful what you do and how you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. But everything in here, there's not like too much of anything or too,
Could you use tuna for this?
Yeah, you can. You can. I would just follow the same rules of, make sure it's in water.
Right.
And no added salts or flavorings or anything like that. But so here it is. I mean, how fast was that? Super easy.
Oh, you know what? I'll spray your pan for you.
And then, so just grab, I'm using a mini muffin tin. I've got 2 small dogs, so I normally carry this around. If you've got big dogs, obviously use what you have at home, and you can also use a regular
you can
size.
easily double it, because we know I have mouse
yeah.
tips, and Bernard would look at this and be like, okay, that's an appetizer.
Yeah, I put a little bit too much in this. Now these won't rise, so you can go to the top, or if you want them smaller and you want to stretch it,
Kind of pack them
some
in.
more. But yeah, pack them in. And I'm going to backtrack because I put a bunch in there. And I'm trying to be nice for camera, but normally what I'll do, and actually I'll just do it, I normally just get in there with my hands.
And then I take it we just sprinkle the broccoli on top?
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I'll do the sprinkle part.
For that. Thank you. You can also mix it into the mixture.
Okay. What do you find works better?
Either or. Really depends on how your dog likes it. Like if your dog, kind of like a kid, right? Like if you need to hide the veggies, then you can just mix it on in. And if not, then you can just put it right there on the top.
All right.
And then, so I'm going to pat this down so it stays in. And it goes into the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit at 15 minutes.
All right.
Here we go.
Our favorite thing about Alexandria is visiting all the dog-friendly shops and coffee shops in Old Town.
That's what we got. Set. Good girl. Oh, that's why she likes Old Town.
In this week's how-to, we're going to talk a little bit about nail trims. Whether you have a new puppy, a new dog, or you've had your dog for a while and maybe nail trims just aren't something you feel comfortable with, or your dog doesn't feel comfortable with them, I'm going to give you a couple tips that might just help. Now with our puppies that we raise here at Training Canines, we start them off young, which if you have a puppy, don't wait to start trimming their nails. Start
playing with their feet, touching their nails when they are, as soon as you get them used to that sensation. The other thing that we use are toenail clippers, human toenail clippers. This makes it very simple to just clip the very tip of the nail off of it. And it makes it's not as traumatic as using the big scissor nail clippers, which can put a lot of pressure on the nail. And that's what lends itself to kind of freaking the dogs and the puppies out a little bit. That's that sensation of pressure. But this is just getting the very tips off. And if you maintain the paws like this, even your older dogs, just taking the tips off, the quick's not gonna grow out, and you're gonna have an easier time of trimming their nails. If you have an older dog that's not too keen on having their nails trimmed, like I said, just like the puppies, work with them 1 foot at a time, play with those toes, get the nail clippers out, let the nail clippers touch the nails. Don't necessarily push it too far. You want to get just a little bit of relaxation and then let them go. Then come back and do the same thing again. And if you have to do 1 paw at a time, 1 nail at a time, just to get them comfortable with the nail trim, that's how you do it. That's the easiest, least traumatic way of trimming your dog's nails. And if you have a squirmer like Navi here, just take your time. Don't get frustrated, because if you get frustrated, they're going to get frustrated and it's not going to end well. So that's your how-to of the week.
Hey, Cos, can I have the toy?
No, kid, you gotta learn to play the right way.
What do you mean the right way?
The Cosmos way. I'm gonna show you.
No. Hey, can we play with this?
No, you have to chase me. This is how it works. I know these things.
Come on, Cos, please.
No, you have to chase me. This is my favorite toy, and we're gonna play my way.
I'm out of here. I'm playing with my sisters.
Hey, kid, wait.
Okay, guys, we are back, and these muffins look awesome. They smell great. We're gonna eat them, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love this. Here we go.
All right, we're gonna taste these and see what it is.
Should we cheers? Salmon cheers?
Salmon cheers. All right, guys. I like butter, so. They're good. Right? It tastes a little bit like crab cake-ish. You know, like if you had, did you know, I'll tell you this, did you know? Apples taste like onions when you cook with stuff like this. So you could probably put a little apple in it to bring up that onion on the taste.
The flavor.
Very good. Very, very good. Melissa, tell us where we can find you, where our viewers can find you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, you can go to my website. It's www.prouddogmom.com. I have all my social links right there. If you want to check out any of our cooking stuff, we've got a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/prouddogmom, and on Instagram or prouddogmomblog.
Great, and we appreciate your having us. And we've got something to show you now that you're going to be very surprised about. So stay tuned.
Hey guys, I'm going to show you an easy trick, or tip I should say, not so much trick, in order to help make sure that your dog gets the proper amount of food. It's so easy to just come home, scoop their dog food, dump it in the bowl, and guess what? We've got 140 grams of food right there. 1 cup is 128. So we're sitting with 12 grams more than our dog really should get. What if you're feeding your dog 3 times a day, or giving them 3 cups of food, or 6 cups of food like I give to my Mastiffs? That's a lot of extra food that we don't have to give our dogs. Very, very easy done. Let's just try one more time. Look how simple this is. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take it, we're gonna shake it off, just kind of level it off. A little bit easier, almost like you do flour. Pop it in there, and let's see where we got to be. 127. Guess what? The dog gets a bonus. We're up to 128. And that's how you can save from overfeeding your dog. Just simply weigh their food. Alicia, did you ever wonder why when you walk the dog, when it's raining or when it's just rained, they have a little less focus? Maybe they're picking up things like Alicia is here today. Maybe they're not paying attention to you. Maybe they're pulling on the leash. The reason is because the rain helps bring up all the smells to them. If you can see Alicia, she's just like all in heaven because everything's fresh off of the ground. And usually it smells more higher concentrated to them like just after it's rain. As the sun starts to come out, things get warming up. So don't be so rough on your dog if they're not paying that much attention on those rainy days or on those days where it's just rain, because really they just can't help it. Alicia, here please. Alicia, see what I mean? Alicia, 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 here please, here please. Oh, we got her, thank goodness. Now you know.
How are you?
I'm alright. I wanted to tell you I was online last night and I found this dog store in Cornelius called Tazzy and Boo.
My son told me about that.
Yeah, they have burgers.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He said that he stopped down there last week. He wanted us to, he called me actually when I talked to him the day they moved, and he said, you know, that it was a really cool store.
It's really, yeah.
What, did they have like an online store too?
I don't think they have a site, but they don't have a shop. You can't shop online. You have to actually go to the physical store. But they have a lot of, like she brings a couple things over from the UK. And
Oh,
stuff
really?
Like that, so, yeah.
Well, I just have a little bit to do. Do you have stuff that you want to take me
No,
down?
let's go. Let's
Okay.
take him because I
Cosmos,
think he would enjoy it.
would you like to go shopping? Since you like to shop on Amazon so much, huh?
You can go shop in person.
Let's go shop in person today, okay? Look how little those shirts are. Hey, look how little. Look at all the stuff here, bud. What do you think?
Quando posso rivederti ancora, that's my way of saying that I love you.
I really hope we can get them in black.
I know.
White or
I want to request the catalog and see what we can find.
Yeah, definitely.
What the heck? Cosmos, did you do this? Seriously, buddy? Chewy? Amazon? A pizza? Oh my God, I hate to see my credit card bill. Listen, you have to stop this, I promise. Puppies were born, they're coming soon. I promise. Your shopping addiction has a shopaholic, Cosmo.
Don't forget, guys, Dog Life is for you and about you, and we want to see your pictures and videos. So go to the website, doglife.tv, and submit your photos and your videos. There's a link right there. You can click on it, and it'll email it straight to us, and we want to feature your dogs on the program. So send them in. We want to see you.
How do I know if my dog is overweight? There are a number of resources for dog owners to refer to when determining whether or not their dog is overweight. One of the best ways, and what most veterinarians in the U.S. rely on, is the body condition score developed by Nestle Purina. Rather than just relying on an ideal weight goal, the BCS gives you a visual point of reference, which is generally, combined with a goal weight, a more reliable way to determine where your dog's weight should actually be. The body condition scale charts out condition scores from 1 to 9, 1 being emaciated, 9 being morbidly obese, and ideal body condition falling in the 4 or 5 range. By feeling for muscle mass and fat, as well as visually assessing shape, we have a much better idea of where our dog's natural and healthy weight should range. Keeping your dog in ideal body condition not only means you're avoiding issues associated with obesity, like diabetes or heart disease, you're also helping to avoid joint pain and trauma associated with injury or genetic predisposition.
Bruce, you ate just so much food. You now need to do your workout. So get over your hurdles. Come on, buddy. Do your hurdles. There you go. Good boy, Bruce. Good boy. That fat belly. You need to work it off. Come on, buddy, get your back legs over. We don't stop for a nap in between. Come on, buddy, you don't need to stop for a nap. You can get your back legs over. Come on, there we go. You can do it. You're sitting on a phone. You think that's funny, don't you? Oh my goodness, look at you. There's no more food. Come on over and do your workout. Your phone is you. This dog is that like the biggest phone. Look at you. There, you finally got your back leg over, Bruce. Good boy. Good boy, Bruce.
Taking portrait-worthy photos of your dogs doesn't have to be frustrating or disappointing. Whether you're shooting with your smartphone, a point-and-shoot camera, or your DSLR, you can take great photos with just a few simple tips. Tip number 1, be sure that you are focusing on your dog's eyes. This creates a connection with the viewer and draws them into the photograph. Tip number 2, if you're shooting action with your dog and they're out running around in the yard, playing with the kids, playing on the water, put your camera in sports or action mode or use a burst mode on your smartphone. This will allow you to take many photos in succession and you won't get the blurry pictures that everyone dreads. If you want to take pose shots and your dog doesn't have a good wait or stay, be sure to have a helper come along. They can help hold leashes and entice with treats and lessen the frustration on your part, because remember, if you are frustrated, then your dog is going to be frustrated, and that doesn't make for a very nice picture. The best time of day to shoot photographs? Early morning or late evening. Photographers call these the golden hours, and they cast a beautiful diffused warm light on your subject and just make everything look magical. And last but not least, be sure to print your photos from time to time. It's important for us to have a physical record and not just a digital record of our dogs' lives. Hopefully these tips will help you take better photos of your dogs, and I would love to see them, so please send them in and we will share them on the show.
The 3 top ways to get your puppy to learn faster. Number 1, play with your puppy before you train, after you train. Number 2, keep your sessions short. And number 3, when you're done, let them take a little nap. That's when they remember everything you taught them. That's just another Empowered Puppy Bite. Welcome back, guys. We hope you learned a lot today. We wanted to keep it upbeat because it's a sensitive subject, but we need to talk about it. We need to be aware of it, and we need to know what we can possibly do. And like I said, that simple trick of weighing your dog's food.
Something so easy. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Just get a scale, measure it out, and what you're saving is just remarkable, because all that little bit adds up and up and up and up.
Definitely.
And then before you know it, you turn around and your dog's got extra weight on it, and they don't need it. We don't need it.
No, we don't.
So we hope you had fun. Next week we're going to talk about our
fitness. We're going to get strong.
Yeah, so we've got lots of fun things to tell you about that. So have a great week, guys. We'll see you next week.